Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is day 129 of playing chess every day until 2000 and I am at 1945, my highest peak ever. 2100, holy damn. 2100, Ramlinov. Oh my god, 2100. Let's go. Is he gonna play the King's Indian? Okay. Knight c3, e4, castles. No, let's move first. Okay, we play h3. And when he castles, we play knight to e2 and g4 and knight g3, and we continue the game. He might strike with e5 or c5 or a5. One of these moves in the King's Indian defense. 2100. Wow. Okay, so here I believe we just push. Yes, we're weakening that, but it's defended by the knight. And we can also play like b3 and bishop here. Okay, so he's really annoyed by the pawns in the center. It's very common to try to attack the center with this move. So if takes, we don't take like this. Maybe we take like this. So I have to play the move g4 maybe. So if he takes, take like this, he gets the rook in. I can put the bishop here and castle. Or should I just put the knight on g3? If he takes, I take, and he check, I put the bishop on e2, and then I try to castle. It's also fine, but this will be a pain in the ass. See, I usually go for the move g4, but I've never seen this kind of this. He will take maybe like this to open up for his rook, but this move he will never have the very important f5 push. So if takes and he takes with the pawn, if I take and he takes with the bishop, I'll play a move like this. How can he defend the pawn? He can push it. Should I take it? And if he takes like this, I mean, yes, his rook will be active, but he will never have the f5 break, so I can play like g4 knight here, knight to g3. If g4, he wants to take. Very, very bad, he wants to take. And if I take with this center pawn, I mean, shit. And then we play like bishop to g2 and castle king side. But it's very weak king side. And if he takes and I take like this pawn will become a problem. So knight to g3 takes, and c takes d5. He moves the knight back. I still want to play the move g4. So g4, he wants to take. I take like this. He puts the knight back, and I put the knight on g3 and control that square. Yeah, I believe I'm going to go for my main move, because I never seen something like this before. Okay, now we take c takes d4. C takes d5, sorry. We just have to be careful not to move the bishop, because there might be some kind of... Okay, so he's aiming a lot at this pawn, but we just go knight to g3. This is the plan, to put the knight behind, defend, and also stop the f5 push, which is really important in the King's Indian defense, because they always try to break with this move. But if I played bishop to g2 and castle king side, I think I will be fine, but I really hate this pawn on h3. I can't believe I'm playing 2100. Okay, so now he is seeing that there's nothing on the king side. He wants to attack on the queen side. Very, very reasonable. He wants to go here to attack my knight. So if I play bishop to g2, he will definitely play the move b5. I go knight to e2. How can he add more attackers? I mean, let's just go bishop here. Maybe bishop to d3 was better to stop that pawn. Yeah. We can go a3, he plays this, and I take, and he takes. And we can put the bishop on a very active square, but we have to be careful from that bishop. He wants to go here. So if I play the move a3, he goes here, and I take, and he takes, and I move the knight to e2. He gives me, he cannot give me a check. And I can also play rook to b1 and try to castle king side. This pawn is protected. I can always play queen to e2. Wait, what about queen to e2? He plays something like this, and I go knight here and knight here. Should put the knight on c4. Wow, actually, I should allow him to play that so that I can reroute the knight like this and put it here. And I'm also defending that pawn. So I like it. But we have to be careful. Queen to e2, you don't want to stay on the same line as the queen. So queen here should be fine. I want to play queen to d3 so that after he attacks me, I draw back and I reroute the knight like this. I mean, I don't really see that something that is wrong with this move. If he wants to go for the move b4, trying to remove one of the defenders, I mean, I have 3 defenders right now, and if he played this move, this square will be very, very weak, and it will be under my control. I just reroute the knight to e3 and put it on c4. My knight is very, very active, and he cannot attack it. So this move is really weakening of that square. 2100. Holy shit. I mean, how? How at 2100 and I'm only going to get 11 points? I should get like over like 12 or 13, but I don't think we can get that much. Maybe the highest on chess.com you have to get only 11 points, the highest. And even if you move the knight, oh, knight here is very, very annoying. Knight to d7 or knight d7 like this. Why? Because he wants to put the knight on e4, e5, sorry. And if I play the move f4, yes, all of his pieces are pushed away. He attacked my queen. Okay, so going queen to e2, we have to be careful. Why? Because if he played the move b4 and I move the knight, he can take this pawn and I cannot take, I'll lose my queen. So he is smart, that sneaky, sneaky boy. So queen to c2, he plays something like this, and I just go back with the knight, and this pawn is very, very weak. So I believe queen to c2 is fine, but a very good move. That would be a trap if I went queen to e2. Okay, so he's attacking me. I can go knight here and knight here. I can go knight here, knight here, knight here. But this is a better square. How can he defend the pawn if I played knight to e2? He can push it, but I can just take, and after takes I can take. And if here, how can he defend? He can defend with the queen. That's the only move that he can defend with. Right? That's the only move to defend. But if I played knight to d1 and he put the queen here, I can play knight here. And if he push, I can just take, and after queen takes, pawn takes. It is freaking annoying. But I do believe it's knight here. Attack the pawn. If he played queen here, knight to e3, pushes the pawn. I take once, he takes with the queen with a check. I take, and after pawn takes, I just get the bishop on a3, attacking his pawn, and when he tries to defend it or something like that, or he pushes, I can just go here and target the pawn. Yes. How can he defend the pawn? I mean, if he push, I can just take, and after takes, I love to put the knight there, put the bishop on b2 and castle kingside. If he played the move b3, I just take, take, take. If he defended the pawn with the queen on c7, I just play knight to e3. Fucking retard. How did I miss that there's a pawn that is hanging? Shit. Oh my god, if I played queen takes c4, there is a check. If I take, there is a check, but I can take with the knight. So I can take here. This knight is attacked. He attacks me like this, and I can just take another pawn. Yeah, I believe it just queen takes here. He plays something like this, and I just castle. No, he can play some stuff like that, but I can just move away then. Right? And I cannot castle right away because he can go back with the knight and defend the pawn. So I take here, bishop here. I should not castle because there will be attack on the rook and on the queen, like this as well. So I take bishop to e6, and I just go back where? I mean, queen to d3 is still fine because, yeah. We take here. Oh, we have to be careful. Queen to a5, many pawn push, we get checked. I see in this move now we have to get the frick out of here. Oh, we can just... If I take, he takes like this with a check. But that's not a good thing. You don't want to give away the queen, right? So queen to d3. I can actually play queen to e2. I'm attacking the knight. The knight needs to move. Because if I take and he takes, the queen is not attacked because I can put the bishop and the knight here. And this move also defends the pawn so that I can get the bishop out. So I believe that queen to e2 is still fine. Any queen move here, I can just take. Any check, I mean, we don't really care that much. And this move is really important to defend the pawn on b2 because I want to play something like bishop to e3, disconnect the rook, and then castle. Okay, so he just moved away. Okay, so he just went there. I can play bishop to e3. He wants to play something like this. That is annoying. That's very fucking annoying. Knight here is very annoying. I have to stop it. Oh my god, is it the only move knight to e3? Bro. I want to put the bishop there. Okay, we have to go for knight to e3. The knight here is very, very annoying. Two attackers on this pawn. I cannot move the rook because I lose this pawn. Wow, you can see the skill. Wow. But I'm still gonna fight. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna lose. I believe, wait, we should not castle because the rook and the queen will be on the same diagonal and the bishop here will be freaking devastating. And I cannot play something like this because I lose the rook, and if I play this, I just lose the pawn. So how about going for this? And if he takes, I can just take like this. That would be a good move. If he played this, I can just take, and if he takes, I think I have to go for this. I have to go for a3. If he takes, you don't take on the pawn, you don't want to lose the rook. If he takes, I can take with the rook. You cannot play something like this because I can just take it. There will be a very... You just killed the... What? He played b3? He just killed his own attack. What a... Okay. That is very not good by him. Why would you push the pawn and... Now, I mean... We have to be careful because I want to move the knight to get the bishop active and the rook's active, but this square will be very, very weak for me. So I have to... I cannot even play bishop to d2 because bishop takes here, and I cannot play this because I lose the pawn, and this pawn is not... because it is defended. So I need to move the knight in a way. So how can I do that? One of the moves that we have is f4, f5, and get the bishop, or kick the bishop away so that I can move the knight and there will be no bishop to c4, attack the queen, attack the rook. I can play rook to d1 first, attack a weak pawn, and if he pushed... So wait, what if he pushed right now? It is annoying, and if I take, bishop takes, knight takes, and I can just move the queen here, attack the knight, attack the pawn. I don't think that will be a good move. So playing rook fd1 would be nice for me to attack the pawn. He bladed! What the f... He bladed. Hold on. So if I take, he takes with the knight. I take with the knight. He takes with the bishop. Yeah, that's annoying. So if I take, knight takes, and I take with the bishop, and bishop takes, that's not a good move for me. Okay. I should not allow the pawn in, so I have to take it. But after it takes, he has two options. Take with the knight, take with the bishop. If he takes with the knight, I take with the knight, he takes with the bishop, attacking my queen with his rook. I move the queen to d3, and if he takes me here and I take back, how can he defend the pawn unless he plays something like this? So pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, and queen. Queen here. Hold on. If I take, and bishop takes, well, I can just take with the bishop, and after knight takes, I can just go here and continue my plan. But if takes, he will take with the knight, and after knight takes, should I just play this? He takes me, and I take maybe with the pawn. I have to take it. You just have to be careful. He wants to move the bishop in a way that the rook will be active against my queen. That is smart. Okay. Hold on, that's a mistake, right? Bishop takes, knight takes, and queen to c4. The knight needs to move, and the pawn is attacked. So bishop takes, knight takes, queen here, knight takes. Maybe bishop takes, and if the bishop takes here, I go here, and if takes, I can just take here, attack. I cannot take with the knight, I lose my queen, come on. We take the bishop, he will take, and I get the queen to c4. Is it c4 or is it d3? d3, he takes, I take with the pawn. But actually, queen to c4 is better because when he takes, I take, and this pawn will be hanging. And this move here, I believe it's queen to c4. He takes, I take with the pawn. This pawn is hanging, and this pawn on f7 is also hanging. But I don't really enjoy the fact that my rook is trash, my queen is right in the open. But I'm still trying to fight, you know? We will get him, we will get him. Of course we will get him. It doesn't matter the rating. Knight to b6. Nice, but can I just take the pawn and just take you here? I'm just gonna take. He's trying to play on my time. He's trying to play on my time. He wants to play this. Well, I can just take, and after knight takes, well, okay. I just offer a queen trade and up a pawn. I play a rook to b1 and get the bishop out. So all I need to do right now to take this dame knight. If he takes with the queen, that's horrendous by him. But the rook needs to be active on a1. My king is now safe. Not so safe after queen to h4. I have to play king like this. This pawn will be a little bit weaker. Yeah, I mean, this decision in the opening phase is a little bit risky. If I take, he will take with the knight. But I can play rook to d1 and he will be pinned. And if he played like something like this, I can get the bishop in. So he needs to actually either take me or play rook to b8. Rook to b8, I take, he takes with the knight. I go queen to d3. He moves the knight somewhere and I can just take the queen, trade the queens. It might still end up on a draw because being up a pawn is not that much on this level. I really want to beat this guy. 11 points for B will be fabulous. I have to win this. I have to win this. I have to win this. So if he takes, taking with the bishop activates my rook, but we have to be careful. After knight takes, bishop takes, yes, the knight is hanging, but after the knight moves or plays rook to b8, this pawn will be significantly weak, so I play like rook to b1, he moves the knight, and I can just get back to c2, queen to c2, and the pawn is protected by the queen and the rook. The bishop is active, so if he takes, taking with the pawn, yes, activates my rook, but wait, if he takes here, and I take, the knight is hanging, and this is a check, and I will win another pawn. How can he defend both? So if knight takes, pawn takes, he can play queen to c7, defending the knight, defending against the check. Okay, so he played it, okay. This, if I take with the pawn, he can actually play queen here to defend both of this attack and also the knight. And playing bishop here will not be that much useful. I guess bishop takes is best. It gets the knight in and I play rook to d1, something like that. And if this move, I think we have to activate our pieces. Activate the bishop, now we're attacking the knight twice. We will happily take with the queen so that we force a trade. And if he played rook to b8, which he will, a move like this will be possible, so how about rook to d1? Let's play rook to d1, don't give him time to think. He cannot play something like this. He can play something like that. Yeah, maybe he can play knight d7, but that's very, you know, the queen on a2 will be much safer because it still has some kind of control, and it's away from the rooks, because I don't want to put my queen behind the bishop or on this open files. These open files are for the rooks, not for the queens. Not for the queens. So maybe the queen will be much safer on a2, and I put the other rook on c1, and the rook's like this, defending the pawn. The queen is active. I'm up a pawn. Everything's fine. But if the queen went anywhere else, I can take here. But if, of course, he can just spin me, so I'm not gonna win the knight. Only if my pawn was on a4, then yes, I could win the pawn. I can win the knight because I can play a5. But the pawn is really not on a4. But I believe he's gonna play something like, oh wait, he can actually do that. Knight d7. Oh shit, he will win the pawn. Why am I not deeply thinking? Hold on, knight d7, and I get the queen to d3. And if he takes like this, I can just play this move, and after he goes here, I can just take, and when the queen takes or something like that, I can just take this knight. But the knight can go back here, knight to... Hold on, the queen is attacked. If he played this move, I can add pressure to the knight, and when he defends or do something, I can play rook to b1, and he will happily take with the rook, and after rook takes, bishop takes, the pawn will be hanging, and yeah. Damn it, I thought that I had an advantage, but apparently not, because of the rook and the bishop are really strong. Really strong. So I think that the best move is knight d7. But how about... Hold on. Knight d7 and I play queen to a4. Attacking the knight twice. Okay. And defending the pawn on a3, since the pawn on b2 will be 100% lost. Nani? Oh, you sneaky. I'm seeing something. I'm seeing a pattern. After rook to c1 attacking the queen, will he sack the rook? I cannot take with the pawn, that will be a check. But wait, if rook to c1 and he sacked the rook, I can just take with the queen. I can do this. I can do this and run away from the attacks. So I'm happy. You... Hold on. Hold on. So if I take with the bishop, he takes, I take, the rook takes, and I cannot play the move b4 because of this move, and I'll lose the pawn. Come on, bro, think. Come on. Rook to d6. There will be knight back, and after I take, he will take, and the pawn will be lost. I have to play rook to c2 and rook to d2. I have to play this to defend. I have to defend it. I have to go here and I have to go here. The queen is not that much of a pressure on me. I have to play rook to c2. I have to defend the pawn. I have to go here because 2-on-1 will always win. So I have to keep my advantage. The knight moves. Just take the queen, and when he takes back, play rook to d2 and defend the pawn with everything you have. Maybe a better move would be bishop to c1 to defend the pawn with the bishop with a lower piece, and then just have control with the open rooks and get the knight into the game, you know, something like that on e3. I have to win this. I have to beat this guy. I have to beat him. But I'm really afraid of some kind. Knight here is that's a blunder because if queen takes, and after a rook takes, I can just win the knight. Knight back to here is the exact same thing. Maybe take the queen, and after he takes, then we just push the pawn. That would be much better, so that we can centralize the bishop on c5. That would be better. Yeah. These pawns should be on light squares, not on dark squares, because he went there. I'm reading his mind. I'm in his mind. So queen takes, rook takes, and playing rook to d2, or maybe after queen takes, rook takes, and I can just play the move b4, but he will happily push the pawn here and ruin my structure. So after queen takes, rook takes, we have bishop to c1 to put the knight on f3, That could be a move. So queen takes, rook takes. Rook here is very, very bad. So, okay, queen takes, rook takes, and just bishop to c1, and just push the pawn, put them on light squares, and put the bishop on a3 and the knight on here. I mean, that would be a better... I think that would be much better. I can also go with the queen to d3. Queen to d3, I'm attacking the knight, but I don't want more pieces on the board. I'm just going to take the queen. He will happily take back. Okay. Bishop to c1 seems very nice. I'm defending the pawn, and this knight is a little bit loose. The knight on f1 and knight on e3, I have control of center squares. My rooks are active. The bishop is defending, and I want to play something like b3 and a4 and put the bishop on a3 or on b2. And we can make that by playing rook to d3, you know. But the knight has to go to e3. Now he will play something like knight to e5. Knight to e5, he's just looking for a check. So maybe after knight here, I can just play king to g2. He cannot put the rooks here, so maybe the knight here is actually good. But after I play knight to f1 and knight to e3, the rooks cannot get in. He cannot attack my knight. Yes, the bishop is a little bit passive, but I rather defend. Yes, he played that. Now he wants to go for this check just because it's a dame check. Or knight here trying to go here. We will happily... No, we can just take it. Come on. So I'm just going to go here. This is not possible. This is not possible. This is not possible anymore. Knight going back, it's not possible because I can just take it. And you have to be careful because I pinned your knight and I can just play the move f4. You need to get the hell out of here. I can win the rook. So this could be a good move. This could be a good move. What is that? Why is he trying to go here? Okay, I understand. I understand now. If I played rook to e1, he wants to play rook to b8 to attack the pawn after he moves the knight and attack it with the bishop. But I can just simply play rook to e2 and there will be 3 defenders and 3 attackers. This move, he cannot play something like this because I can just take his rook. This move, he moves here and then I can play something like this. But any knight move will be a fork. Here, he cannot put the knight there or anything. I can just take his... Okay, I have to go here. I have to bend the knight to the rook. And when he moves the rook, this knight will be a little bit loose. So I'll move like f4. And the knight needs to move, which is exactly what he wants. We have to be careful. If he moves the rook, this move will be very, very, very devastating. So rook to b8. And I play rook to c3. Rook takes, pawn takes, knight here. Here, takes, but the rook will get in. I have to keep my advantage. That was a mistake to keep the pawn on b2. That was a mistake to keep the pawn on b2. I can play bishop here. Hold on. Bishop to f4. Bishop to f4. Take me here. I take. You take. I take, and I take here. Hold on. Bishop here. He pushes the pawn. The knight is still pinned to the rook. And I can play rook here. Hold on, I can play bishop here, right? If takes, I can just take. And after rook takes, I can just win this. And after takes, I can go here. And I just want a piece. So bishop here is still fine, right? Move like this. Oh, knight to d3. Fuck. What? You want to block your own bishop? Okay, smart ass. And knight to e2 seems fine. I'm defending the pawn. We have to be careful. The knight cannot move. But hold on. What if I... Hold on. If I take and he takes and I play this move, he cannot push because I can just take it. He can just take here. I have to play this move, the knight can now move, and when he moves the rook, I can then take an after takes, I can blockade with the pawn so that the bishop will not be active. I'm so nervous and I want to win this. I really want to win this. Knight to e2. The plan is very simple. I want to take now, and after he takes, we have to create a blockade by knight to e4. The pawn is blockaded, and the bishop will never target the pawn on b2. And I have two defenders. His attack is over, and I just have to figure it out. I have to do something else, you know. And very, very happy that this knight is pinned. But I believe a move before he had knight to d3. Because if I take his rook, he can take me with a check, and after I move here, he can just take, and after I take, still will be attack on me, and I cannot defend that much. But now I have no idea what's going to happen. He can now move the knight, because I will definitely just take here. And if he attack, oh, he moved. That's my plan. That's my plan. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and knight to e4. That is the plan. Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight to e4. He can never attack my knight. He can never attack my rook, and the bishop will never be active because he cannot target this pawn. Boom, motherfucker! Take me. Give me the knight. Give me the knight. You're not gonna win this. Knight to e4. We have to be careful. This pawn is a little bit loose, so maybe like a rook to d3 and rook to b3 attack the pawn. We have to be careful. You have to be careful. We have to put the knight here in some way. How can I put the knight? Oh, I can just play it, bro. So this is a fork. So now he needs to move one of the rooks. And he cannot even play rook to d3 because that's still a fork. This is a good move, this is a good move, but only if he did not move the rooks. If he moved the rooks, it's better to keep the knight here. It's better to keep the knight here, play f3, and play rook to f2 to defend everything. Okay, so that's a move. Hold on. If knight here, that's a fork, he's forced to take it. And after I take, he takes me here. I just take this pawn. He aims for that pawn, and I go here. Hold on. Knight to c5, that's a fork. He is forced to take it. And after I take with the rook, he will happily take this pawn. And then I take here. He goes after the pawn somehow, and I can just go rook to a5 and rook to e6 to attack the pawn, and I don't think he can defend twice. Hold on, bro, come on. Knight here, bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes. He plays something like rook to a2, and after I go rook to a5, he has rook to b2. Oh, hold on. Knight here, bishop takes, rook takes. After rook takes, can I just take? And after rook takes, I can just take here. He targets my pawn, and I can go back to defend it. I don't want to end up in a draw. That's the plan. I don't want to draw. Knight here, knight to c5, bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes. What if I just take here? He can just put the rook on a2, and when I go rook to a5, defending and attacking, he can play rook to b2, and after I take, there will be this check. I have to move away, another check, and I have to move away, something like that. Come on. Knight to c5, bishop takes, rook here, rook takes, rook here, rook here, rook to b2. I take. He takes me with a check, and I move away. Another check, I can move away. He plays something like this, and I can just push the pawn, something like that. I have to go for it, right? Knight here, bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook to a2, rook here, rook to b2, rook takes. He takes me with a check, and I move away. And I can always push the pawn. No, I can always try to push the pawn here. I'm gonna go for it, guys. I'm gonna go for it. Holy freaking shit. Knight to c5. He is forced to take the knight. Yeah. We have to win this. I cannot end up in a freaking draw. If he didn't take, he's 1 trillion% losing the game. 1 trillion%. Okay. So now I have two options. Taking here, he will take, and I will take here. He will play this or this to attack, and I can always play the move rook to a5, but he can go back to b6, and the kings will try to be I still have 3 on 2 here. If I take here, what can he do? He can play something like this. And if I take rook takes this, I still have a chance. If rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook here or rook here, I get the rook on a5. But if rook to b3, he just goes back to rook to b6, and then I just use my king. Which piece should I take the pawn or should I take the rook? Rook here, rook here, rook here. This I have to take. If I take, rook takes, attack my pawn like this, I can just go back to a5, defend and also attack you. You use your king, I use my king, and I get closer to the pawns. I have to take. Come on, I really want to win it against 2100. Come on. Okay, he's using his king. Okay, I did not see that, but that's still a better move. I can play rook to e3. He cannot get the rook. He cannot get the king into the game. He cannot push. He cannot target the pawn, and I can use my king in some way. I think that's much safer. I just play king to g3 and push the pawns and try to make weakness of these two, because this pawn is too big. This rook cannot target the pawn because it's already protected. The king cannot get through because I created a blockade, a little box that he cannot get into. I'm not trying to sound like I'm a GM or something like that. I'm just the worst chess player. I'm just explaining my thought process because I really want to win this. And actually, the more I share, the better my thought process is. That's a good move. Is that a good move? I have no idea. I'm just gonna go king to g3, and I want to go for f4 so that if takes, I can take with the king, and I would have 2 on 1, and that would not be very, very good for him. The most important thing to keep the rook there. Just keep it there. He might try to do something like rook to b1. Rook to b1 will be very, very annoying. You know what? Because after this check, I have to go here and the pawn will not be that much active. And of course, I can now play something like this because I will definitely just lose the pawn with a check unless I went back and ruined my structure. What the frick? What do you want with this move? That's just idiotic. It doesn't do anything. f4, he takes, I take, there will be rook to f2 check. I go king to g5. He gets the rook in and I play something like this. He gives me some kind of check and I can just run away and I still have 2 pawns. I have to go for this, not for this, because after takes, king takes, we will lose the pawn. So f4. f4, I still think it's the best move. Let's go for f4. He plays something like this. I can just, okay, he takes. Okay, he's so happy to get the rook in with the check. He will be so happy. But wait, if he played this check, I go king here, but then he will go here. I play this check, he goes here. I go here. This. I try to get in, but there will be a lot of checks by his rook. If I can get the king closer to the pawn, I will win. I will win the second pawn, and this will be a free pawn. Give me the check, king to e5, rook here, and I get the king here. He wants a rook trade. That will be idiotic because if it takes, I can just give to the pawn, and it will take him ages. 2 on 1 here. The king needs to stay close. The rook after this check, I think I have to go king here. Right? The pawns are protected by this beautiful, amazing rook on a3 and also stopping the king from getting close. If you play this, I go here. He still has the check. I go here, another check. I go here, and he cannot defend the pawn. I have to win this. Come on, come on. Pawn push. What a crazy move like that. What is that? What does that do? I can just go here and get to that pawn. King here, check. You move here, I take you, you take me. Okay, we have to play faster. Should I get the king closer to here or closer to here? I believe the king on g5 is still better. The king cannot get close to my pawn and the pawn is protected. Pushing this pawn is just stupid. We have to get to this pawn. I believe he's going to play king to g7. And after king to g7, I just go here. Move the rook. Move the rook. You cannot move the king. I'm gonna play g5, play some kind of a check. He needs to go here. And then I will get back. The most important thing, do not give him counterplay by giving that pawn. Nice. Somehow a nice move. Somehow a nice move. So I can play a check. He gets... Let's just play a check and go back. Go back to e3. Okay, so he's going back. I have to go here. Let's just go here. Holy fuck, I'm mating myself. After the check, he will get close. So if I play this move, he will take, and after takes... wait, okay. Going here, he will take, and after I take like this, he will give me some check. I have to go here, here, check, and stuff like that. I can just go there. The pawn will be weak. Oh, what did I do? Hold on, let's just close the box a little bit more on him by playing rook to f3. Okay, I have no idea what that move is. I still have to make a move. Oh my god, why did I put my king there? Come on! This, he will take, and I take with the king. Hold on, this, take with the king, any check, I can just go back here. I have to play this move. If he takes, it's a blunder to take with the pawn. I have to take with the king. He will play this check, but then my rook can move because I can just attack and defend the pawn. So he would have another problem. After rook to g1 check, king to h5, he can just go back. But I can play this check, but he can go here, and I can go there to push the pawn. Very, very risky stuff. After rook to g1 check, maybe I can go to king to f5, but the king will get closer. I'll play rook here. I think that will be losing for him after I take here, something like that. I have to win this. How much time? Holy shit, 42 minutes. Just milking my brain. Okay. That's a very, 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 very weird move. Rook to f4 just wins the game. Rook to f4, you cannot attack my pawn. I can just take you and you cannot defend it. Rook here, you play a check. I go here, you get the rook. I take, you give me a check. I go here, another check, and I can just go there. Oh my god, he just fucked it up. He needed to keep the rook there for some chances. Now check or a king move, whatever, I can just take this pawn, everything's protected, and I just move the rook and he would have another problem here. I'm winning. I'm winning. 2100. Holy shit. The highest rated player, maybe he was like 20, okay. Keep the king closer to defend the pawn, and he will never checkmate me, right? He cannot checkmate me. He can put the rook there, but he still needs some moves. Hold on. Hold on. I can still go there and still attack the pawn, and he cannot give me any check. So this move's still fine. Okay, I think I have to go here. You don't want to get the king trapped. You want the king to be active. Rook here, king here, whatever. I can just take this pawn, and this is protected. This is protected. The rook is beautiful. The rook on f4 is beautiful. Okay. We take the pawn. Thank you so much. King here. There will be no checks for him, so I can then just play like rook to b4 and push the pawn. Stuff like that. He can give me some checks. He can give me some checks. But after here and another check, and here and another check, and here, you need to get the hell out of here by moving the rooks, stuff like that. Okay, he goes there. Okay. Going rook to b4, he plays something like this, and I can just push the pawn. Yeah, I just have to go here. Rook to b4. There are no checks. You want to play this move, that's suicidal, because if the takes, you will losing the game. He tries to attack my pawn, something like this, rook to g3 or rook to a1. I play the move a4, and the rook is forced to stay protecting the pawn. And if I manage to put the rook on a3, the pawn will be a bastard no matter what. Yes, he has some checks here and there, but I don't really care. Like check. Okay, we just push the pawn. Now there is no way to move the rook because I will push and put the rook there. He can now move his... and now I can move the king. And I just have to get the king closer here. And now the king will support the pawn. So I just have to get the king to b6. Very nice move, very nice move to stop the king from being active. But I still have the move a5. You want to go back? Oh shit, did I make a mistake? Oh, if rook here, he can just take. Defend the pawn, that's the only thing that you have. He will take. But after king here, I just have to use my king. You want to stop me, I push the pawn. You want to go back, I push here. The king is very far away. And we have to stop the king from magically going to a8. Because that will be a draw if, yes, he's trying to go for it. That sneaky little, that's a check. You move here. I go here. If I went to b7, you are cooked because a6, a7, a8, queen. It's just done. I have to put the king here. He doesn't have any more checks, and this will be pushed and make a queen. Come on, come on. He's up 55, 155, over 155 points. Okay, so I can play a check. Okay, come away and play this. Will that be bad? I mean, it's not that much of a problem. If he went here, I can now just push the pawn. He plays some kind of a check. I go here, and now he's cooked. A6. Give me some kind of check. I go here. I'll push the pawn. Oh my god. Wow. I cannot believe this. I'm cooking at 2100. What is that? So I can just go king to b7. You want to move the rook, I can play this, and after you give me a check, I can move away. Don't give it a check, it will go here. And of course, don't push. I think king to b7 is the correct move. Now I believe he's going to use his rooks to give me some checks, but obviously I will just play some kind of a check here. When he gives me some checks, I put the king on b6, or I push the pawn, stuff like that. No, if he put the rook on any of these squares, I just push the pawn because any check, I can just go king to a. Okay, so I just play a7. He plays some kind of a check. I go here. He put the rook and I can just go here. Okay, so I'm winning. This move is the winning move. There will be this check. And I just go here. And even if he sacked the rook, I can just take and it's still protected. So the move is a7. Give me a check because that's all you freaking got. And now we play king to a6. Right? He cannot sacrifice because I can just take and I'm still up here. And if you play this check, I go here and he puts the rook on h8 and I just put the rook on b8. And if he gives me a check, I will be safe after king to a5. There will be no checks and I will make the queen. I'm winning. Wow. Sorry for this video is going to be a little bit long, but it is very informative and very fun to me. I'm cooking at 2100, guys. Nice move. Wow. So if I make a queen, he will give me this check and I can go here, but then he will take me, and after I take it, it will be a draw. Nice. So hold on. If I give him this check, he will go here. So check here, make a queen, and he's cooked. So that's just a simple check. He moves the king somewhere. We make the queen. And after this check, you don't move the king. You just put the rook on a5, block, and you have a queen. 1956. I got 11 freaking points. Oh my god. We're gonna check the game review. Hopefully I did not blunder the win at the end. Maybe I'll blunder the draw or something like that. Because I'm still struggling with the endgame, but we're still fine. Let's see. Away with a 76.2. Wow, that's very bad. And he played a brilliant move. Wow. So d4. Okay, he's playing the King's Indian. All of this is just opening moves. I love to play knight to e2 and, push the pawn on g4. Come on, bro. It's still fine. Okay, bishop to g2. He played the best move. Queen to d3. He definitely had... See, he had this move. He had the move before, but I thought that it's going to be better for me after I go knight to d1 and knight to e3 and put the knight on c4. But we played fine. He still has some kind of a... Wow. He played the best move. I took here. But that's the brilliant move. Very nice. What a brilliant about that? Oh yes, he's sacrificing the knight. Okay. I won the queen back. I'm getting better at getting back from losing positions. Never happened before, so my resourcefulness is actually improving. Very nice. See, I told you he needed to take. Huh? You want me with what? What? They want me to play knight to f5. Sure. Sure, next time. Taking was not that much. I still have to put knight to f5. Why should I put the knight there? Taking with the bishop was fine. Going here. Queen to c4. See, I told you he made a mistake. He needed to take the knight. He needed to take the knight, and after bishop takes or pawn takes, stuff like that, he got worried about this pawn and this pawn being attacked, but honestly, I don't know how he can defend both. I took the pawn. He took me here. I took it with the bishop, which is the best move. I got the rooks involved in the game, and now, yeah, I wanted to play a rook to d6, honestly, but I did not think that's taking the queen was best. Putting the bishop back, yes. After b4 I can play it, but he can play a5. And yes, I can put the bishop back, and after he takes, I can take with the bishop, but I did not like to have one pawn there, so he played the perfect move. Very nice. Pinning him is not the correct move. See, I told you, rook to d3 was the best move. Rook to d3 was the best move, but he did not play it. And then I took him, and I created a blockade with the knight, and his pieces is just... Here, I still have an advantage. Please tell me I made the correct move to take the rook. Thank God. So my endgame is actually getting... Oh. Hold on. I know that rook to a5 is playable, but he will go rook to b6, and I'm not a freaking fan of the king getting closer to try to defend his pawn. I wanted to isolate the king 100% from the attack of my pawn and from defense of his pawn. So this is why I played rook to e3. I still have some kind of a microscopic, advantage. I went with the move f4, takes. He needed to get the king close, which actually makes sense. And now he allowed my king in. That could be a better check, and after he moves here, we take. That was a better check. We just went back. Okay. Yeah, I had to go there. Try to give check from the other side, but... Wow. We're so good at drawing the freaking winning games. Wait, what? In this position, it's a draw. If he played rook to d1, rook to c1. How it's a freaking draw after I just take here? Yes, he can give me some checks, but I can just go back, and no more checks for him. And the rook will move, and I can make it... Come on. How? Of course, I'm gonna check all the game review after that and analyze it deeply, but I cannot do that on because the computer will explode. Hopefully here I did not fuck it up. No, we played the best move. We allowed him to take. We got the king closer. We played the best moves. Now the king needs to support the pawn. That was a good check. We pushed. He moved. Then he moved the rook. After this check, he moved here. And that's a very nice move. Thinking that I want to make a queen and he can just go there, but I can just give this check, which is very important, and then I can make the queen. And whenever you try to give me a check, I can block with the rook, and I'm winning. 1956. And how good we played, like in 1850. Shit. Ooh. But look, the endgame is the best one, so we've definitely figured out a way to maneuver correctly and win the game. Don't listen that much to the mistakes by the engine, because to the engine it sounds okay. Now the engine is winning against you if it has like 0.6 advantage over you. The engine will win. But we're just humans, so it doesn't really matter that much. So don't focus on moves like this, focus on the blunders. And happily I did not make a single blunder, right? Not a single blunder. And he found a brilliant move. Nice. Still with a brilliant move I cook him. Very, very nice. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow.